Well, hey everybody, thanks for joining again to episode 5 of the Sports Asylum podcast. I'm Pete Loaff. With me, I got LJ. What a exciting night. It was electric here in Kansas City last night. We had Monday Night Football with the Chiefs against the Saints. Chiefs victory, and the Kansas City Royals versus the New York Yankees in Yankee Stadium. What a great evening to be a sports fan, especially a sports fan in Kansas City.
Absolutely. We're the center of the sports world last night, and it was amazing. I loved every second of it. I was jacked up all day long. It was hard to focus at work. I just couldn't wait for the day to end so I could start watching some sports. The Royals game definitely did not disappoint. We got the win that we desperately needed. I always felt like if we could steal one in New York, take home field advantage back, I like our chances. Reagan's delivered a great outing for us. Timely hitting. Salvi with a big home run. What more can you ask for from your captain? Love that guy. Who doesn't love Salvi?
Yeah, he's the best.
And then the Chiefs game. It definitely did not disappoint. Monday Night Football. We're going to try to watch 2 games at once. Admittedly, it's not the easiest thing in the world.
Not at all. Not at all.
Both matter so much.
Right.
But, well, maybe the Monday night game didn't matter quite as much. But
no, but it's still Monday Night Football, and, it's still Chiefs football.
And, it's nice to stay undefeated. So, it matters a little bit.
It does matter.
All games matter. In the NFL, there's so few of them.
Absolutely. 5-0.
Absolutely. But before that...
Like what you hear?
Want to be an inmate?
Subscribe. It's free. Saints and Chiefs game was great. I thought it was a good game. There's some highs and some lows. I thought Mahomes had a solid performance by his standards. Admittedly, he set the bar.
0 touchdowns.
Agreed. That was the low part of his game. He had some great runs that extended games. There was one run I'm going to remember for a long time. It was a highlight run.
Well, yeah, he ran around like Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of looked like Dante Hall out there, the human joystick. Moved the ball up and down the field. But like you said, just didn't end up with any touchdowns. And that INT was kind of a fluky thing. But watching Colin Williams run with that was... Colin Saunders run with that. It was kind of worth it having to deal with the interception.
Yeah, but Juju's got to catch that ball.
Agreed. That's why I say it's kind of fluky. Juju should have had it. But, Colin Sanders just snatched that ball out of the air.
He did, and he ran with it. We know he's athletic, and he can do backflips in the whole 9 yards. He showed it off when he was here.
He had some hustle. I was pretty impressed with his speed moving up down the field. Kareem Hunt goes over 100 yards and gets a tutty.
Right.
He's looking great. I couldn't have asked for more. He's outperformed any expectations I had.
Man crush.
A little bit. Xavier Worthy finds the end zone again. And his mom in the stands.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's always a great moment when you can live out your dream and your parents there, and he can help his mom out and the whole 9 yards.
Oh, absolutely. Give him the touchdown ball to his mom. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was a cool moment. Kelsey had a nice game. 9 catches, 70 yards. He moved the chains several times.
Well, it looks like Patrick's just looking to him more, and it may have been that just Rice was getting open sooner.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before Kelsey got going, I think, and they could have been right that maybe he didn't start training as early as he normally does.
Whatever.
He did have a pretty busy calendar this offseason.
Doesn't matter. Noah Gray looked good.
Kelsey will be Kelsey by the end of the season. It won't matter when everyone will forget about those first couple of games.
And like I said, Noah Gray looked good. He's catching everything.
Yep.
The people they're asking to do jobs are getting the jobs done.
Yeah, like Juju.
The only thing, and I know we're getting into this, is you got to cash in on touchdowns, not field goals.
Oh, absolutely. Juju had a nice game. Like I was saying, 7 catches, 130 yards.
That one going into the end zone.
Exactly. That would have been nice. That kind of added to our problems in the red zone.
Absolutely does.
The defense was excellent again. They held the highest ranked offense to 13 points and only 220 yards. The streak of games holding opponents under 30 continues, and so does the streak of holding running backs under 50. Kamara had 28 yards, I believe.
Yeah, it seems to be extremely hard to run against the Chiefs. I think they pride themselves on it.
It used to be a weakness.
Yeah, it used to be. They have the linebackers to stop the run, but do they have the linebackers to stop the pass? That is, the weakness.
So far, they haven't. The tight ends are still having good games against us. They got a touchdown against us.
Yeah.
And the guy was open by like 5 or 6 steps.
Chenal shouldn't be in coverage.
No, he definitely should not. That was well schemed to have a good,
of course,
to take advantage of a mismatch there, and they absolutely did. They got 7 catches against us, but it was only for a tune of like 36 yards. So it wasn't as bad as it's been. So I saw some improvement, but I still feel like it's an area of concern. Okay, let's talk about our red zone offense. This is definitely a problem, and that's probably our biggest problem, injuries aside. In 2022, we were second in the league in red zone scoring percentage at a 71%. This season, we come in at 30th ranked at 39%. 18 red zone trips, 7 touchdowns. This is a problem. We should be above 60%. The Ravens, 75%, Bills, 67%, Texans, 69%, even the Bengals, who are 1-4, is at 69%. This is a problem. It has to improve.
I will say I don't think it's just an injury problem. Andy Reid, I think, always tries to outthink himself down there in the box or whatever you want to call it, right? Once he gets down there, he wants to trick you into thinking he's doing one thing or whatever, or some of it maybe that's why his players love him and he's doing plays that they love. It all constitutes to not a great red zone percentage.
Exactly. We definitely struggle down there. And we weren't great last year. We were only around 51% last year. So it's been a decline, and it's been since Bieniemy left.
Yeah, and I know where you're going with this. I know that you are not a fan of what Nagy's been doing since he got here, and the numbers probably bear it out.
Probably.
But we don't know for sure who's calling the plays at this point.
We know Andy's calling the plays. But we know that Bieniemy held people accountable.
That's where I think we really need to look at it. Is like Nagy seems like he's more of their buddy and wants to hang out with them, where Bieniemy was just like comfortable as being uncomfortable, and I'm going to make you as uncomfortable as possible.
Absolutely. Bieniemy had no qualms about getting in your face. I don't think Nagy's that same kind of coach.
Well, I think at that level, that's the only kind of coaching that really works. I mean, some guys need to be coddled.
Right.
But if you really want to be coached up, I mean, Bieniemy's the guy. I don't know why. Like, maybe he's not head coach material. I don't know. I'm not in that. Being a head coach is more of being a CEO than being an X's and O's. Well, I don't want to say X's and O's, but teaching. Like, you're not getting on your down there.
Absolutely.
And getting in the dirt. That's what your assistant coaches are for.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody's meant to be a head coach. Just because you're good as a coordinator doesn't mean you're a head coach material. I think it's a big, big step between offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator and head coach.
But I do think it would be different for Nagy, okay? If it was Hollywood, Rice, Worthy, Pacheco, you know what I mean? But then you wouldn't have Kareem Hunt.
Right.
So, take the good with the bad, I guess.
Yep. And at this point, from what I've seen with Kareem Hunt, I'd say extend him a contract for a couple more years.
Of course you would. I mean, I'm not saying don't. I'm not saying he doesn't look good. I'm not saying any of that stuff. I just think it's the second game of a long season, and let's just see where things lay out. It's not like regardless if he goes off now or he goes off at the end of the year, his deal is going to be any different.
No, but I'm all in. So
I get that, but he's not leaving the Chiefs. You don't have to worry about it. He's back where he wants to be. I don't think there's any amount of money that's going to be thrown at him for him to leave. And it's not like all of a sudden he's going to come here, he's going to go for 1,000 yards, and then every team in the league is going to be like, oh, we need Kareem Hunt. They know it's the right back in the right situation. Not every player fits every team.
Yeah, we're showing Cleveland how to use them properly.
Well, I do think it's just, some people are made to play certain places.
Absolutely.
And yes, Cleveland has messed up a lot of people.
Yeah.
But, yes, certain offenses, certain things. And Kareem Hunt was made for this offense. He messed up. The owners said, you lied to us, go away.
Right.
Now, he's paid his penance. He's back. Nobody really cares, I think, at this point, really.
Yeah, they survived the PR hit already, so...
Which wasn't much.
Right.
It's not like there was people out there picketing or anything, saying anything.
No, we get more people complaining about the team name and the stadium than that.
Right. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do to fix the red zone at this point. Like, they have to go to the people that they know are proven. Travis, right, being one.
Right.
You know, the one that you got to figure out how to scheme up, except quit doing shovel passes to him, letting him try to run it in for 2 or 3 yards up the gut. You know, that kind of crap.
Right.
Actually, maybe just play action fake and roll out and throw it to him in the flat like most teams do with tight ends. I don't know. Just a thought.
It's definitely a thought. If they trusted their tackles a little bit more, I think we could get a little more toss plays and things like that. I feel like we've gone away from that. We're pretty much running between the tackles this year.
Yeah, but that's the way the team's built. You got 3 good guys in the middle. Your tackles kind of suck. And their pass blocking tackles is what their specialty is. It's not like they're even run blockers.
Right, and they're not excelling at the pass blocking aspect either, so that's the scary part if that's their specialty. So, yeah. If they don't turn their red zone thing around, I guess you could just turn it into a drinking game. Chug a beer, take a shot every time Bucker kicks a field goal 35 yards or shorter.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of stupid that they can't find somebody just to play on the outside that they can throw jump balls to. Like, you got guys on the practice squad, you got things. You can't find one 6'3", 6'4" guy who can go up and get it and put that guy on your team besides Travis.
Isn't Justin Watson 6'4"?
Yeah, but he's already not that guy. If he was, he'd be doing it.
Jody Fortson.
Don't know.
They don't try.
I don't know. And now they're trying to do the slant, and then, Juju goes and doesn't catch the ball. I mean, it's a simple 3-yard slant. Now, I know the guy probably got his hand around it, but again, you're a professional receiver. You got to catch the balls in your hand. You got to catch it.
Agreed. That was a catch he should have made, and I guarantee.
And I know he
would.
Yeah, I'm sure he would say it's on me. It's not on Patrick. I get that, but excuses. You get paid to do this, just like you get paid to do your job, and I get paid to do my job. Yeah, it sucks when you do something wrong, but you still got to be accountable and move on.
Exactly. Yeah, that was it's unfortunate turn of events. It was another failure in the red zone. It adds to our struggles.
Well,
that's not the only thing. I mean, penalties do too. So we keep getting penalties in opportune times when we're in the red zone too. So that needs to be cleaned up.
Well, that leads us to the perfect time to have a bye week. They can go in, they can look at what they've been doing good, what they've been doing bad, maybe get a couple guys back. Amenahu should be, week 6, he's eligible to come off of IR, so that should put him right after the bye week. We should be seeing him practice with the team.
Right, and I think they have, 21 days to activate him after that?
Yeah.
Sign him to put him on the 53-man roster.
Right. I don't know where Pacheco's going to be at that point. I'm sure he'll be back running, egging to get back on the team. I don't know. I'm not the doctors. I don't know when he's supposed to come back.
I'm thinking he's probably still 4 weeks out at least.
So they probably act like they don't need him, but this team is really starting to turn into a running team, or it needs to. I mean, if Pacheco comes back and you've got Hunt and you've got Steele, I mean, he still punches the ball up in there if he just hold on to it.
Right.
He's a good back. You got 3 battering rams back there that you can use, and I think you have to lean into that.
I agree. The running game cannot be abandoned. It needs to be a focus moving forward with this team. The offensive line's built for that, at least the interior of it. Like you're saying, our tackles, they're a work in progress. I don't know about Juwan, if he's ever going to excel for us. He's starting to look like maybe a bad signing.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I thought last year was a fluke just because he got singled out early.
Right.
But those penalties are still happening this year too.
You are who you are.
Yeah, at this point, that's who he is. Yeah, unfortunately. So, I don't know. I think they can probably move on from him after this season if that's the direction they want to go. I don't know what's best at this point with that. But if we can get out from underneath his contract and free up some money to maybe bring someone else in or draft somebody, I'm open to that.
Well, the problem still comes back to Andy in the offense. He's never going to run it 50% of the time. He's never, I mean, not even close to half and half.
No.
I understand he's got Patrick, but we're always going to be in tight games because he's always going to operate the same way he's always done. I don't know why anybody expects anything different.
If we're even at 50% in that red zone yesterday, it's not a close game.
Right. If Derrick Henry was on this team, he would carry the ball 13 times and catch it 6.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's just...
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I completely agree.
So now they go into the bye week. They can work on that.
5-0.
Yep. Defense has got plenty of time to sit back and lick their wounds and tighten up on that, linebacker, midfield defense,
Right.
If they can tighten that up and they can keep teams from scoring in the first quarter, they'll be the defense will be the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah, this is the first week they didn't give up an opening score.
Yeah.
Got the interception instead.
They're getting better, and now they go into the bye week. They can learn from that, and then they come back after that ready to take on the second half of the season, which is going to be a long stretch. But they're set up perfect with 5-0.
Yep, and it starts with going to San Francisco when will they come back?
Yeah, I mean, most of the meat of the schedule, the hard stuff, was front-loaded. So we get through the next few games.
We still got the Niners and we got the Bills.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's still...
Yeah, it's
but we've taken on a lot of the big challenges have already been...
Yes. Yes, definitely the tougher teams that we're worried, or look, when you look at the schedule and say that could be a problem.
The AFC teams, all the best teams in the AFC that you have to worry about playing for home field advantage, we've basically beat, or we're going to have the opportunity to beat.
Exactly. I can't remember. Is Texans on our schedule this year?
I think they are. I think they are at the end of the year.
Okay. I thought they were too, but I couldn't remember. I was definitely. I remember the Ravens and the Bengals, of course, but they seem to be always on our schedule. But I remember because we started weeks 1 and 2 again.
Yeah, well, first place teams plays first place teams.
Yeah,
that's generally the way it is.
Yeah, well, the Bengals don't look like they're going to be a first place team this year.
No, they don't. So that leads us to the NFL, right? We had a big week of the NFL.
Yep.
Some exciting games. We started off with the early game in London. Aaron Rodgers goes out there and shits on himself in the fourth quarter.
Gets Saleh fired.
Yeah. Saleh goes and gets fired today. You bring in guys like him to win in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And, he can say whatever he wants about the team and the coaching or whatever it is. That's what you're paid $40 million, whatever the hell they're paying him to do, is win in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and that's not what happened. Not at all. They lost 17-23. Wilson and Jefferson put on a pretty good show for neighbors across the pond, but Rodgers had 3 INTs on the game, 1 return for a touchdown by Van Ginkel, who does nothing but return touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Pick sixes, that's his name. And the third effectively ended the game. The Vikings are now 5-0, and Rodgers got his coach fired.
Yeah, and that leads to a lot of things. You got that coach fired, and there was a ton of coaching decisions that were terrible this weekend. I mean, absolute, mind blown. How could you do that? We start off with it was a great game, but Buffalo, Houston. Yeah. I mean, it was back and forth. Nobody wanted to lose that game, but then nobody wanted to win that game. But then, anyway,
unreal ending to that game. I mean, I haven't seen Allen look that bad in a long time. 131 yards total. I couldn't remember the last time he had that low of a number, and he is my fantasy quarterback, so I feel that pain. But yeah, it was a crazy ending. It's like one coach said, I'm going to do something that's completely dumbass. And so the Texans have the ball. It's tied. They're in field goal range. The Bills are out of timeouts. It's fourth quarter. It's third down. Run the ball for placement. Call a timeout with 3 seconds left. Kick a game-winning field goal. That's not what happens.
No, it's not at all what happened.
Instead, he calls a pass play. Stroud gets blitzed, and he intentionally grounds the ball, which effectively ends that play, moves them out of field goal range, so they have to punt the ball back to Buffalo. And so Buffalo's coach, not daring to be outdone on dumbassery, doubles down and says, instead of this letting it run out or ending the game,
we're going to try and win the game.
Overtime. We're going to try to win the game deep in our own zone, back into 3-yard line is where they're at.
Right.
So any holding penalty would have got the safety right there and ends the game. It was just stupid.
Well,
and so he throws it 3 times, runs no time off the clock, and then gives the ball back to the Texans.
Yeah, and before we go on with that, it's like, I understand throwing it on first down and trying to get yourself out of there and seeing if you can catch lightning in a bottle, or you got a trick play, you got something up your sleeve. But when you don't, on second down, you run the ball.
Or even second down, I can see throwing it again. Maybe, but...
Yes.
But I think Texans had 2 timeouts, so you'd want to at least run it on second, and then run it on third. But no timeouts.
So anyway, it's just stupid Madden coaching.
Right.
I mean, it's what it is. It's a stupid thing you would do if you were playing a video game, not running a multi-billion-dollar team.
Bills are going to look to the referees being the reason they don't win Super Bowls. It's their coach.
There's so many, and you hear about the referees and this and that, and look at the end of Baltimore game this week. Cincinnati, both of them, neither one of them wanted to win the game.
Oh, they both tried to give that game away.
Yeah, fumble, interception.
It was unreal the way overtime was played, considering how great the regular game was. The regular first 4 quarters. Lamar had 4 touchdowns. Burrow had 5. They were just...
Yeah, one of them was crazy, running around, waiting, and then throw it in there. And Burrow was running around. He had it crazy. Yeah.
Burrow, Cincinnati didn't lose because of Burrow.
No.
They lost because of that defense.
Yeah, and he called him out.
Yeah, press conference, he definitely did.
I mean, a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, you know what? Call it for what it is. If you give up 38 points, did you have good defense?
No, you did not.
So,
I mean, the Bengals had a 10-point lead with 8:54 left in the game, and then let the Ravens tie it up. And then what was crazy, like I said, overtime was crazy. Overtime was crazy. Lamar fumbles the ball away. The Bengals recover it in field goal range.
Yeah, and you think for sure they're going to win.
And they don't. They miss the field goal.
Yep.
And then the Ravens move the ball down and kick the game winner. It was a weird ending to a great game.
Yeah. And right before that, at the end of the quarter, right at the end of the fourth quarter, they both had turnovers when you thought they both could win.
Right.
It was just another insane game. Maybe
that's just how they do it in the AFC North. I don't know, but
maybe they do.
Very crazy game. Cardinals beating the 49ers in San Francisco. Didn't see that one coming.
You didn't see that one coming.
But Arizona apparently has like a winning streak against the 49ers. It goes back a few years.
Wow. That's crazy. What was the one I heard this weekend that was, that Lamar Jackson is 9-1 against the Bengals.
Wow. The Bengals struggle against the Browns too.
It's just 9-1.
Right. And the Bengals are so loaded with talent, at least in the receiver room. The receiver room is pretty good.
It's division.
Yeah, Jamar Chase put on a show yesterday, and I don't like the guy, but wow, he was pretty electric yesterday.
They say it, and it's true. Division games are different. The teams know each other.
Yeah, we experience that every time we play the Raiders, Donkeys, or Chargers.
Yeah, a little more hate.
Yeah,
a little more love.
Yeah, I don't know about any love. Scotty's Giants going to Seattle and winning 29-20.
I know. Danny Dimes looks good this week.
Yeah, it's funny watching the end of the game. Like, he didn't know how to celebrate, it looked like. Because you're not used to winning, you don't know what to do.
Well,
he wasn't sure what to do with his hands. It was funny.
Well, he's probably tired of getting whipped by Dable, and he didn't know if he put his hands up, he was going to get slapped across the back.
It could be. And, God, how bad are the Raiders? Losing 18-34 in Denver. That loss snapped at what the Raiders enjoyed was an 8-game winning streak over the Donkeys.
Yeah, and don't look now, but Broncos are 3-2 after an 0-2 start.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. What I see is not a juggernaut.
No, they beat people by good defense and their quarterback not doing anything stupid to hurt them.
Well, that's what Peyton wanted. That's why he went after Nix. Was here's a system quarterback. He'll do what he wants him to do.
Yeah, and if Sean Payton does nothing else, he helped the Broncos snap their 16-game losing streak to the Chiefs last season, and then the Raiders this year. So he ended some long suffering for the Broncos against their rivals.
It's the Fishing Minute with Scotty K. Scotty, how'd you do? That's the Fishing Minute with Scotty K. So here's a question that goes back to the Chiefs that I wanted to talk to you about. Was I heard people talking about going after receivers and basically, mortgaging the future to get the three-peat this year. So I thought about that, and I'm like, what would you give up to sacrifice a four-peat? I know it sounds stupid, but you understand what I'm going with that. Like, you could seriously destroy next year's team by doing things this year chasing that three-peat. Would you do whatever it takes to get the three-peat and not worry about next year because next year is later and you worry about that problem when it comes? Or would you worry about the four-peat and, just keep to the plan, I guess?
You stick to the plan. Three-peat's amazing. It would be great to make history. I would love to be the first team to ever three-peat. That's something that no one can ever take away from you, though they'll try. But I think it's way more important to keep this dynasty going. I think it's more important to be able to re-sign the players you want to keep on the team. I think it's more important to be able to keep McDuffie. Sure, I think there's ways to secure the three-peat without mortgaging that future. So if you're asking me, would I go sign somebody that's going to take on an enormous contract that's going to prevent me from signing Trey Smith or Trent McDuffie or Nick Bolton or somebody like that in the offseason? Nope.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as you. I think they have made the right decisions all along the way to get to the point where they're at, and to have a shot at the three-peat, you have to make a lot of right decisions. And I think that says to your plan and how you develop people and things like that. Even in the front office and stuff, you bring people up through your system, through your culture, and you try to lift them up. And I think it shows on the football team as well.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people calling for Tyreek, but there's no way I would take on that contract or that attitude anymore.
No. Well, I mean, I don't see, they say Devontae Adams. I'm like, who wants to take on that contract for a 33-year-old receiver next year who's not happy anywhere he goes?
Yeah, he sulks everywhere he goes. He's definitely not someone I want to bring in here.
So, and I wouldn't, it's hard enough to keep this team rolling with having the highest paid quarterback and the things that we have on the team, to go out there and just to get a receiver to patch a hole for this year.
Right. I mean, you can go out and get someone without having to mortgage the future. You can give I bet Amari Cooper is going to be available here pretty soon, the way the Browns keep playing.
Yeah, and that's what you have to look at, is somebody like Amari Cooper. And he's probably the dream comp, because
he counts 1.2 against the cap,
and he fits right in. He's that kind of receiver. I totally get it. It's Absolutely. The perfect fit.
Yeah, that's the dream sign. If you could get anyone him, that would be the guy that could help us this year to ensure a three-peat without mortgage in the future.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, what are they going to want? And who, there's a lot of teams that'll outbid the Chiefs just because they know the Chiefs are the top bidder. You know what I mean? And they'll be like, hey, listen, our pick's going to be 15 picks higher than the Chiefs.
Crap. You got a good point. Yeah, I didn't even really think about the other bidders for him. I just assume everyone just lets us have what we want.
Yeah, that's most people on TikTok and Twitter and everybody else seems to.
That's just Buffalo.
But everybody seems to think, it's set up for the Chiefs.
Well, it is. It's the Chiefs' world, and they're just living in it.
Yeah. Coin flip. Who's the better team right now? The Chiefs, obviously, well.
Yeah.
Or the Vikings. 2 5-0 teams.
Right.
Or Chiefs go in the bye week. They look good. They're beat up, but it's perfect time for them to get a little bit of rest.
Yeah.
Vikings come out of London. Tough game. Darnold didn't look great. But they pulled out a win, and good teams win tough games.
Yeah, that defense looked really good. So you're asking me which one I think's a better team. I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs.
Okay.
It's not just because I'm a homer, because I am a homer.
Right.
It's not just because of that.
Yeah.
You give me Mahomes, you give me Reed versus Darnold and O'Connell. I think we can stop the comparison right then and there. I think we're done. Point made. But I also think the Chiefs have just as good a defense as the Vikings do. If not better, I don't know. I haven't watched the Vikings as much. But I think we've gone against better teams so far, and our defense is held up great. I mean, we don't give up points. We don't let people's offense get going.
Well, you have a good point with, I don't know if it's apples to apples who they've played versus who we've played, right?
Right.
We've had to play the top of the SEC, and they've had to play the bottom of the SEC, so to speak. So I can't say to that. I will say their defense is very good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very good.
Very good.
And yes, nobody's as good as Patrick. Andy is a Hall of Fame coach. Yes.
Right.
I get it all. O'Connell's good. Look, he's taken a guy that was a former number one pick that nobody else could figure out what to do with and has made him look like a legit top 15 quarterback.
Agreed. Yeah, he doesn't look like a bust anymore. Let's just say that.
No, he looks like somebody who can actually play quarterback and make decisions, and he's not scared to take a hit. He can stand in the pocket. He can deliver the ball. Is he going to win you a game in the fourth quarter? I don't know. But he has made him that. But it also helps that he has Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, the best receiver in the NFL, out there. Guy catches everything. He gets separation. He can go up for the ball. Addison's on the other side. He's breaking people's ankles, and he's getting open.
Right.
Up until this point, they've had Aaron Jones. He don't suck.
No, he definitely does not.
And their offense has been rolling. Yeah, they ran into a tough game overseas, playing in London, but they still eked it out. So it's the fifth game of the year, but I'll just take the Vikings at this point.
So yeah, let's talk about what happened in College Station. Embarrassing. Coach Drink, you're stealing money. 2 weeks ago, it was a bad decision. It almost cost us the game. Then this week, coming off a bye, this team came out lifeless. A missed pass interference call and a lineman downfield call that negates a touchdown, and this team just completely unravels on the sideline. You're supposed to be a leader of men. You sit there with your arms crossed or your hands on your hips, with a little all shucks look on your face, like deer in headlights. You've got to be better. This university deserves better. I know you can recruit, but can you coach? I haven't seen it. I've questioned it a lot. I'm not the only one. It looked like you lost your team this week. I know you lost your fan base.
Humans, it is I, Optimus Prime. Subscribe to Sports Asylum. Smash that like button. Become an inmate or die.